Hello, guys. This is Otutawan of International Football Kaypee Tech. Welcome to the channel. Today we'll be looking at the Premier League matches, the top 6 fixtures. Before we go into that, please, now beg with the like, subscribe, and always the drop comments for all these our videos. And today I deal with one of our biggest football journalists. Julian, what's up?
Yeah, fine. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's nice having you again. Julian, we'll be looking at the top 6 teams, their fixtures this weekend. You know, that this is a match that the Manchester City Tottenham match is a match that everybody is anticipating. Everybody wants to see what's going to happen. Like Pep Guardiola just signed a new deal. What's there? And everybody just wants to like, what's going to happen? That's the anticipation right now. But that will be our last point of discussion. Now let's look at the Arsenal Nottingham Forest match. What do you think about that match?
Well, it's going to be an interesting game. Ordinarily, before now, you say Arsenal would win, Arsenal straight win. But
I swear.
you have to be very careful about your predictions for Arsenal fixtures and also for Nottingham Forest because they've had a great season so far. They've considered the second fewest amount of goals outside Liverpool. Their goalkeeper Martels has 4 clean sheets already. The only goalkeeper that has more is Andre Onana for Manchester United. So their defense has been rock solid this season. You look at how they defended against the big teams; it has been very good. So Arsenal has to be very careful. Arsenal cannot afford to drop points in this game. They've dropped a lot of points already this season. So this is a must-win game for Arsenal. They are going to find it really, really hard. Last season, the game ended 2-1 at the Emirates, 2-1 at Nottingham Forest. And the third fixture after that, Nottingham Forest beat Arsenal by 1-0. And in all of these fixtures, Taiwo Awoniyi has scored. So Arsenal must be very, very careful.
But is
Even
that
though he's
guy
not the
fit?
starter.
Would that guy be available for this
Well,
game?
he's not really being the starter. It's Chris Wood that Arsenal need to worry about because
Chris Wood is
he has
good.
8 goals already in the Premier League and
Yeah.
just behind Erling Haaland. So Arsenal must be very careful about
But
that guy.
as an Arsenal fan, I'm not scared. I think all our players are available, almost all. Odegaard is fit right now. Saka is back. Tomiyasu is even back. Calafiori is back. The only concern right now is Trossard because during the international break he had an injury. But apart from that, I don't think Arsenal is lacking any key players. I think we're good, and I'm predicting an Arsenal win 3-0. We need to bounce back.
Yeah,
What
well,
do you
I'm also
think?
predicting an Arsenal win, but I think it will be like the last games last season, maybe 2-1, 2 goals to 1 in favor of Arsenal.
Okay, that's great. Um, there's another match we have to look at: Leicester Chelsea at the King Power Stadium. In fact, that's an early kickoff on Saturday. So, what do you think about the match?
That was the first match for this weekend round of games for match day 12. It's a tricky fixture, trust me, because Enzo Maresca is going back to his former ground. Remember, he was at Leicester last season
Yeah.
while they were in the championship. He helped them gain promotion. So he knows all about the team. But with Steve Cooper coming in, I actually expected him to be a bit cautious, a bit conservative, like he was at Nottingham Forest. But he has continued almost the same brand of football. Leicester City are playing on the front foot. They
Yeah.
lost to Manchester United before the international break, but I felt they played well. Over the 2 games they played against Manchester United, even in the Carabao Cup, they had chances, they attacked very well. So I think they will give Chelsea a run for their money. But they've dropped 10 points at home this season. So that's something to worry about. They won only 1 home game out of 5. That was against Bournemouth. While Chelsea have had 10 points away out of a possible 15. So it's going to be an interesting game. But I think that with Cole Palmer not playing for England and a couple of other players who are in good form for Chelsea, I think that Chelsea would win. But it's going to be a slim victory for them.
To me, it will be a game filled with goals with the way Leicester are playing because they are playing explosive football. Like they always want to score, they always want to come out regardless of the opponent. So I'm thinking the game will be like 3-2, a Chelsea win to be a game filled with
Lots of
goals.
goals, yeah.
But Chelsea this season, they've been exceptional when they play average, or should I say little team No disrespect to Leicester. Leicester are good, but come on, Chelsea should have this one. I think Chelsea will win this one easily. Then this weekend, Southampton and Liverpool will dig it out. How do you see that match?
It's a straight win for Liverpool. I mean, Southampton have been very poor this season.
Very, very poor.
I think they also have just one win under Russell Martin. But the thing I like about them is that they play a good brand of football. They always like to attack. They play on the front foot, but they've
Liverpool
conceded
are
a lot
going
of
away.
goals. I know. Liverpool are going to St. Mary's, but when Liverpool play away from home, the last time we were talking about how pragmatic Arne Slot has been, and that's one of the reasons why he has been so successful for Liverpool so far in all competitions. So Southampton will attack. They are playing at home. Kai Walker-Peters, the guy that scored for England in the last international break, Howard Bellis, was from the central defensive position. Southampton are a decent side, but I just feel that Liverpool would want to consolidate on their top spot, especially knowing that City would have played a day before them and Arsenal would have played a day before them. So they would have known the result of these teams. So
Yeah,
if City beats Tottenham, Arsenal beat Forest, then it means that
they
Liverpool
have
must win.
to.
So, but
Yeah.
either way, whether Liverpool plays first or plays last, Liverpool would win. It's a straight win for them.
Do you think Southampton can stay in the Premier League with the way they are playing?
No,
Because I'm not
I
impressed.
don't think they'll stay in the Premier League. The football is good, but they are conceding too many goals and they are losing too many football matches. Remember last season we had Luton, we had Burnley and Sheffield United, and all of them came to the Premier League and went back. Particularly Luton. Luton scored against
Yeah,
virtually every team they played. Out of the
Luton
38
was
games they
very
scored,
good.
out of the 38 games they played, rather, they scored in more than 70% of those games, including against the big teams. City went there, considered goals. Arsenal, Manchester, I think Arsenal even won by, I think, was it 3-2 or 4-3 or something similar that way? It was Declan Rice who scored that late winner away to Luton. So
Yeah.
that's how Southampton play. They play expansive football, but they concede goals. And you cannot stay in the Premier League without conceding goals.
Now, talking about conceding goals, the Arsenal former goalkeeper Ramsdale is their keeper. So, is it right now to say Ateta was right when he pushed Ramsdale out of the team? Because right now it's as if Ramsdale is exposed. He's conceding so many goals.
Yes.
Or is it down to the defense? We still have some average team that their goalkeeper are still very good, even though the defense is
Yes,
not.
yeah. I wanted to say the last time that you can't stay in the Premier League if you concede goals, lots of goals. Now that's what Southampton are getting, and Aaron Ramsdale obviously had to leave us now because he was surplus to requirement, and he wanted to play first team football. And Ramsdale has been relegated twice
Yeah.
at Bournemouth, at Sheffield United. So, and the bookies even favor Southampton to go down, myself inclusive. I think they will go down. So you just feel sorry for the player. Imagine a player getting relegated 3 times with 3 different clubs. That's a huge dent already in his career. So, but
Yeah.
he just wants to play week in, week out. And I think that if you look at the goals he has conceded, I wouldn't really say they are his fault, but you just expect him to do better. Sometimes, as a goalkeeper, when you play for small clubs, you get badly exposed. If you look at David Raya, for instance, while he was at Brentford, he conceded a handful of goals. But when he came to us now, he's been protected by Saliba, by
Magalhaes.
Gabriel Magalhaes, White, and Zinchenko
Timber.
or Timber, whoever is playing in that defense. So defense goes a long way to determine how much a goalkeeper concedes or keeps clean sheets.
Okay.
So that's just the way I see it.
Oh, okay, great. There's another fixture this week: Ipswich, Manchester United, and the new boss, Ruben Amorim, will be at the wheels of Manchester United. So, what do you think about that match? Ipswich have been good; they've been scoring goals.
Yeah, they've been scoring goals, but they've been losing games.
Yeah,
Their only win came before the international break against Tottenham Hotspur away. So if this game happened immediately after that
and
game,
it's a surprise.
yes,
Like that win
look,
was a
I
shocking
didn't expect
win.
it, to go to Tottenham and win. So if this United game was directly after that game, there was no international break in between, I would have had a different opinion. But the last 1 week or so for the international break has changed things a bit. Players have gone on international duty for their countries. They've come back. A lot of things will change and all of that. But Amorim had his first training session this week because of work permit issues. So, and I saw the training session. I saw what he's trying to do. And like he said, from Sunday, United fans will see a clear idea of how he wants to play. So, and I like the setup.
And
His tactics in possession and out of possession has been very good. We've seen
and
that in the
after the
training.
match, we saw a lot of tweets. Casemiro saying this is a top training, Rashford, and all of that. During Eric Ten Hag reign, we didn't see any of those
I know
tweets
you
and all
always
kind
have
of
those
things.
kind of tweets when you have new managers because everyone wants to impress. Everyone wants to get in the good books. And you know
Yeah,
that the players that he worked with were players who did not go for international break. Casemiro
yeah,
has not been playing for Brazil for quite some time. Anthony, Rashford, and many of those guys. For the ones who went on international break, Dalot, Bruno Fernandes, Andre Onana, they'll all be back. And they'll train probably today or tomorrow in the build up to the game. So they will experience what it is like to train under Ruben Amorim. But it was good to see the injured players coming back. Malacia is back. Luke Shaw is back. Luke Shaw last played in February. Malacia has not played for football for United for well over 1 year. So it's good to have both of them back. Johnny Evans, all the players look fresh. Mason Mount, they all look fresh and renewed. So everyone is looking to get into the first team of Ruben Amorim. So because of the new manager coming in, the feel good factor will be there, and those players who want to put their best foot forward to win. So United need to go on a consistent run of winning games, and that starts on Sunday. I think they'll win on Sunday. They'll beat Ipswich on Sunday.
like, what's your prediction?
I think maybe 2-0 because they've not scored a lot of goals. I think they scored 12 and conceded 12, so they're not scoring lots of goals. So I'll say let's say 2-0.
To me, I think Manchester United will win 3-0. They are playing good football right now. At least we saw what they did with Ruud van Nistelrooy, and this man coming in. The players would like to do something spectacular. So let's talk about the match of the weekend: Manchester City, Tottenham. One key information is that Pep Guardiola have signed a new contract, probably 2 years contract because he said 1 year with an additional year, probably to extend or something. But right now, Pep Guardiola is still in the league. What does this mean to other managers?
It spells doom to some extent because even Pep has alluded to the fact that he knows that fans of rival clubs, players, maybe in their minds and all of that, want him to leave. I mean, when you've won the league 6 times in the last 7 years,
The
it's
Jagaban
understandable.
of Premier League.
Yes, he's been winning and winning and winning, and now that
He's a
he has
serial winner.
so now that he has extended that contract 1+1, so that takes off that pressure from the fans. That takes that anxiety from the
Yeah, that
fans.
relief
Yeah,
that this
that
guy is
yeah,
still
it's a
here.
huge sigh of relief now. And the timing, I'm looking at the timing for that contract extension is key. At a point in time where the club are going through a very tough spell.
Yeah.
Pep as a manager is going through a tough spell. He hasn't lost 4 games on the bounce before in his managerial career, but it's good to know that he has extended his contract, and that's good. So coming to the match proper, it's
Yeah.
an exciting fixture. Tottenham has beaten Manchester City 4 times in the last
In
10
fact,
meetings.
that's their most difficult rival.
Exactly. City have also won 5 times. Then the other game has ended in a draw. That's for the last 10 meetings. So it's been tough for Manchester City, and we've also seen loads of goals in their fixtures. That's one thing their fixtures always gives a lot of excitement. Early goals, coming back from the team that is losing, and all
Yeah.
of that. So we should expect to see lots of goals. But this is a must-win game for
And there are a
Manchester
lot of
City.
positive for Manchester City. The likes of John Stones, De Bruyne. I heard they are back. They are training right now. So that will be a boost for Manchester
Yes,
City.
it's a big boost because one of the things that's also affected them in this bad spell they've had is injuries. But like I've said before, it's good that they experience it because if they don't experience it, you don't know what the other fans of other clubs are experiencing. So now they've
Yeah.
had their down times with injuries, and that has also culminated in the bad result that's happened in the last 4 games, losing to Bournemouth, losing to Brighton, losing to Sporting, losing to Tottenham in the Carabao Cup and all of that. So this is a must-win game. They cannot afford to lose again. They need to close out, and it's good to know that before they play, they would have known Arsenal's result. So they need to win. These are the teams that that are chasing. These are the teams that are contending for the title at the end of the day. So
What if
it's a big game.
Manchester City loses on
It's a
Saturday?
possibility.
Then what?
You win, lose, or draw. That's the outcome you get in a football game. So if they lose, fine. That's 5 losses on the spin. You begin to count. So when they lose again, you now begin to look at when the losing streak will end. So if they've not been winning, you begin to ask yourself, when will the winning streak begin? So it's a tough time for Manchester City. Everybody knows that. But I've said it before. If these 4 losses were in the Premier League, then their fans have every right to panic and have every right to begin to even doubt Pep Guardiola to say, okay, has he lost it? Is he still as good as he used to be? And all of that. But because it's 2 losses in the league, although it's huge, back-to-back losses in the league, that's you've lost 6 points.
Yeah.
So they need to win that game, put pressure on Liverpool, and try to see how they can close the gap.
Okay. I just think Manchester City will find a way to win. They've been winning. They know how to win, and I think they will scrape a victory, maybe 2-1 victory, late goal or something. Manchester City will be back to winning ways. That's just my
Oh,
belief.
that's what we said against Brighton. It didn't happen, and that's what we even said against Tottenham, and it didn't happen. We cannot be too sure because now any prediction you are giving about Man City, you have to be careful because if you
Yeah.
sit here now and say they win and they don't win, next week you now come and say okay they will win and they still don't win. So for
No.
me, I'm trying to be careful. It's possible City win, but at this form, Tottenham will look at it and say, we've beaten them before, we can beat them again. City are
Yeah.
vulnerable. That's the truth of the matter. City have not been as convincing. They've not been at the races this season. So Tottenham will look at that game and say, this is a winnable game. City are on the course.
Yeah.
And we need to beat them right about now. If we can't beat them now, it means that what we did in the Carabao Cup was a fluke.
Yeah.
But if they can get a draw, because Tottenham are playing away from home, they also have to be careful as well so that they don't get embarrassed.
It's all right. So that's the end of the show. Please, guys, like, subscribe, and share our videos. In fact, comment anything you can do to help us. Just subscribe. We appreciate you watching our videos, and we'll be bringing you more content like this. Thank you, guys.